let's dive into something that could completely change how you think about money. We're going to explore two very, very different ways of looking at life and finances. And honestly, understanding the difference might just be your first real step toward financial freedom. This right here, this one idea is the key to pretty much everything we're about to cover. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But really getting it, really letting it sink in, that's the huge shift that separates people who stay stuck financially from those who build real, lasting wealth.
Okay, so picture this. Imagine you're a kid and you're getting advice from two different father figures. One is your actual dad. He's brilliant, highly educated, has a great job, but he's always stressed about bills, living paycheck to paycheck. Then there's your friend's dad. He never even finished school, but he owns businesses, he invests, and he's rich. So whose advice do you take? That's the core dilemma we're digging into today.
And here you can see the two paths laid out, clear as day. On one side, you've got the advice most of us hear our whole lives. Go to school, get a safe job, climb the ladder. It's the conventional route. The other path, it's about something totally different. It's not about working for a paycheck. It's about understanding the game of money so you can build your own path.
Their core beliefs about money couldn't be more opposite. For the poor dad, money was this stressful, almost dirty thing you didn't talk about. But for the rich dad, money was just a tool. He believed the real problem, the real evil, was the stress and bad decisions that come from not having enough of it. That one belief changes absolutely everything. So this leads us to the big problem that this conventional path often creates. It's a trap, and so many people are in it and don't even realize what's happening. It's what's known as the rat race. You know that feeling of being on a hamster wheel? You're running faster and faster, putting in more hours, but you never seem to get ahead. You get a pay raise, and for a second you think, yes, I made it! But then you get a nicer car, a bigger house, and suddenly you're right back where you started, just with more expensive problems. That's the rat race. And the cycle itself is so simple, it's almost sneaky. It all starts with getting a job for that paycheck. Then you get a promotion, so you upgrade your lifestyle. But that bigger house means a bigger mortgage, higher taxes, more upkeep. That nicer car means a bigger payment and more expensive insurance. All of a sudden, you're trapped. You have to work harder just to keep your head above water. It's an endless loop.
And this is a really critical point. Who is actually winning in this cycle? When you're stuck in the rat race, you're not really working for yourself. You're working to make your boss richer, to pay more in taxes to the government, and to pay a ton of interest to the bank. They're the ones getting wealthy from your hard work.
Okay, so if the rat race is the disease, what's the cure? How do you actually get off the wheel? Well, it all boils down to understanding one incredibly simple but powerful idea. This is the absolute key. This is it, the golden rule. It's not rocket science. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. That's it. So the game is simple. Rich people spend their lives buying assets.
Now let's look at some real-life examples, because this is where a lot of us get tripped up. We're taught our house is our biggest asset, but think about it. Is your house putting money in your pocket every month? Or are you paying a mortgage, property taxes, insurance, repairs? If it's taking money out, it's a liability. Same with your car. An asset is something like a rental property that gives you a check every month, or stocks that pay you dividends. So the strategy is actually really straightforward. The wealthy use their income to buy things that will generate even more income for them. They buy assets. The poor and middle class, they tend to use their income to buy liabilities and luxuries that they think will make them look rich. It's all about which direction your money is flowing. But look, just knowing the difference between an asset and a liability, that's not enough. The biggest battle, the one that really matters, is usually the one happening inside your own head. You have to win the inner game. This is such a powerful, powerful shift. When you tell yourself, I can't afford it, what happens? Your brain just shuts down. End of story. It's a dead end. But the second you ask, okay, how can I afford it? Your brain is forced to get creative. It starts searching for solutions, for opportunities. It changes you from a passive victim of your circumstances into an active problem solver. And there are two main emotions that drive most of our financial choices: fear and greed. Fear is what keeps you stuck in that safe job you can't stand because you're terrified of losing money or trying something new. And greed? Greed is what makes you go out and buy that bigger house or flashier car just to keep up with your neighbors, digging you deeper into debt. Those two emotions are the fuel that keeps the rat race spinning. So how do you fight back? It's not about just being brave. The real solution, the true antidote, is financial education. Think about it. The main reason people are scared of investing is because they don't understand it. The more you learn about how money really works, the less scary it becomes. Your decisions become logical, not emotional. And this is exactly why it's so critical to educate yourself. You have to learn the language of money, understand things like stocks, real estate, and how to read a financial statement. Learn about tax laws, not to do anything illegal, but to use the legal strategies and incentives the government actually creates for investors. Knowledge really is power. Okay, we've talked about the mindset, the big ideas, and the traps to avoid. So now let's get practical. How do you turn all of this into action? What are the very first steps you can take on this path? Here are 5 habits that can make all the difference. Number 1, pay yourself first. This is a game changer. Before you pay your rent, your car payment, anything, you take a piece of your income and put it towards your assets. Number 2, start small. You don't need a ton of money to get started. 3, never stop learning. Read books, find people who know more than you. 4, always be asking, is this an asset? And 5, when your assets start making money, put those profits right back in to buy more assets. That's how things really start to snowball. And look, you are going to make mistakes. You're gonna lose money sometimes. It's gonna happen. The difference is, most people are so terrified of failing that they never even try. Wealthy people understand that failure is just part of the process. It's how you learn. Every mistake is a lesson that makes you smarter for the next time. You just have to learn from it and keep moving forward. And finally, here's a lesson that might seem a little backwards at first. The truth is, the wealthiest, most successful people are often the most generous. There's a principle here. If you want something, you have to give it first. When you give your time, your knowledge, your money, you create value in the world. And that value has a funny way of coming back to you, often in bigger and better ways than you could have imagined. At the end of the day, this whole thing isn't just about getting rich. It's about being free. Having the freedom to choose how you spend your time, to follow what you're passionate about, and to make an impact. This journey starts with changing your mindset and taking one small step. So the only question left is, what's your first step going to be?